Good evening and welcome to the first episode of Pawa Nius. I'm Stanley Mark. Pawa Nius is a new TV program aimed at informing electricity users and the general public throughout PNG, as well as the employees and stakeholders of PNG Power Limited on news and information about the company, its service, projects and initiatives. We start off tonight's program with an overview of the company that has provided electricity to Papua New Guinea for over 50 years.
Did you know that PNG Power Limited is the only fully integrated power authority responsible for the generation, transmission, distribution, retailing and regulation of electricity throughout PNG? These responsibilities ensure the provision of electricity to 116,242 customers in almost all urban centers and nearby rural areas, approval of licenses for electrical contractors, provision of certification for models of electrical equipment and appliances, and provision of safety services and checks for major installations. PPL uses water as its main source of electricity generation. Hydro accounts for 70%, light fuel 14%, and an independent power producer with 16%. PPL has an installed generation capacity of over 300 megawatt, of which hydropower stations account for 70% and thermal account for 30%. PPL's main systems are the Port Moresby, Ramu and Gazelle Peninsula hydro systems, coupled with 27 other small systems at various centers that are powering PNG.
The just concluded 2015 Pacific Games couldn't have been that successful without the contribution of PNG Power Limited or PPL as the platinum sponsor to the Games, especially with the provision of reliable power supply to all Games venues.
Chief Executive Officer John Tangit said, as a platinum sponsor to the Pacific Games, PNG Power is proud and patriotic to contribute in the successful hosting of the Games, especially through the provision of reliable and constant supply of electricity to all sporting venues.
PNG Power being a corporate entity and a main player behind trying to supply a reliable, safe and least cost power supply to our customers in Papua New Guinea, has got a corporate obligations to the citizens of Papua New Guinea to stand by such and back up such successful events. It's basically to give the prominence and being patriotic about our country. We must participate.
The sponsorship package was valued at 6.5 million kina. That covered the cost of the open supply of electricity to all Games venues throughout the Games duration, power facilities at all the Games venues, promotional materials, and operations of technical support across all venues. In recognition for PNG Power's support, the new Sir John Guy's Stadium Indoor Complex was named the PNG Power Dome. Mr. Tangit said the company's involvement in the Games also portrays a positive image both internally for the staff and externally to the customers.
I want the staff of PNG Power to feel proud that they have contributed immensely. And I say that simply because they've been there in the thick and thin of everything that has been challenged to the industry. And we've come out to stage and host a game that we can be proud as citizens.
The presence of PPL technical teams on site at the games venues ensured that power emergencies were attended to swiftly, limiting any chances of disruptions to the games and all related events. The technical teams were part of the power operations for the games throughout the 2 weeks of the competition.
Prior to the start of the games, PPL General Manager for Operations and Maintenance, Martin Bigiglen, gave assurance of uninterrupted, reliable supply of electricity for all games venues.
PNG Power is a sponsor for the games as well as a supply of services to Port Moresby City residents. We're going to make sure that supply to the city is reliable as well as supply to the games venues is reliable, so that everyone can enjoy the games as well as enjoy the city power supply.
And that was exactly what the team on the ground delivered. About 50 inspectors, electricians, linesmen, diesel fitters, electrical and mechanical engineers were stationed at each of the games venues throughout the 2 weeks and attended to any electrical faults that arose.
So far, everything is running smoothly since day one, since the opening of the ceremony. Till now, we don't have any major concern in the stadium and other parts of the city where the games are running at the moment.
In addition, with the availability of standby generators and about 122 megawatt of electricity for Port Moresby, at the backdrop of its total demand of 110 megawatt, there was enough electricity powering the games. This was further boosted with additional 25 megawatt of electricity sourced from the ExxonMobil LNG plant site outside Port Moresby. But for Edward Gisa, the team leader for the group that was stationed at the Sir John Guy Stadium, their contribution in the success of this major sporting and historical event for PNG is an invaluable experience.
This is something that, because of the involvement of everybody else, that has contributed to a very good challenge for some of us, a learning experience, and we'd like to do more of it in the future.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, PNG Power sets an example as an energy-efficient organization under the PIP2 project, and we'll find out about the company's commitment to employee training. More details after the break.